Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the May 21st, 2025 Council meeting. It is 5:30, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. Members of the public are invited to participate in this meeting of Council by attending the meeting in person at the Council chambers located at 10227 Ilderton Road in Coldstream. Members of the public may also access the meeting, which will be live streamed on our Middlesex Centre YouTube channel, or by contacting the municipal clerk to receive a registration link to join the meeting electronically. I just have a quick opening remark before we move to the business. This week, we are celebrating VON Middlesex Elgin and VON Week, which runs from May 18th to the May 24th. We commend the VON's dedicated staff and volunteers and the essential programs and services they bring to residents of Middlesex Centre. We recognize the meaningful impact and contributions the VON team makes in our communities and in our healthcare system every day. We invite you to show your support for those who care for our friends, family, and neighbors, keeping them safe and healthy at home every day. Congratulations to the VON Middlesex Elgin on the occasion of VON Week. The municipality of Middlesex Centre recognizes that we are gathering on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Lenape peoples. We acknowledge the enduring presence of First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people on this land and are committed to moving forward in a spirit of reconciliation and respect. Our neighboring First Nations communities, which continue to live as sovereign nations, include the Chippewa of the Thames First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames, and Munsee Delaware Nation. We don't have any additions to the agenda for May 21, so I'm going to look to Council. Does any member have a pecuniary interest to disclose? Seeing no hands, then the first item for business is a court of revision. I'd like a mover and a seconder, please, that Council adjourn its regular meeting at 5:32 p.m. to sit as the court of revision for the Bear Creek Drain Culvert 2025. Members of the Court of Revision are Deputy Mayor Brennan, Councillor Arts, and Councillor Shipley, with the Deputy Mayor being the chair. Mover, please, and seconder, Councillor Cates and Councillor Shipley. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. I'll turn the floor to you.
There we go.
Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will call the Court of Revision to order. All appeals are required to be received within 10 days in writing prior to the date of the Court of Revision as per the notice provided. I'll turn to the clerk to see if there's been any late appeals registered. None? Okay, no appeals have been registered with the municipality. I will turn to the members of the committee. Are there any questions? No questions are seen. There's no need for deliberations. The decision is that the Middlesex Centre Court of Revision approves a schedule of assessment for the Bear Creek Drain Culvert 2025, provisionally adopted by bylaw 2025-031 as outlined in the report prepared by Spriet Associates, and that the corresponding bylaw be forwarded to council for a final reading, and that the Court of Revision for the Bear Creek Drain Culvert 2025 adjourn at 5:34. Moved by Councillor Arts, seconded by Councillor Shipley. All in favor? Thank you. I turn it back to you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. The next item up for business is the minutes. The motion before us is that the minutes of May 7th, 2025 meeting of council be adopted as printed. If I could have a mover, please, and a seconder. Councillor Arts, thank you. And Councillor Cates, all in favor? And that is carried. We have 10 items on the consent agenda tonight. These are items that are listed and received in one motion. I'll look to council members. Is there anything here that you would like removed or spoken to? Councillor Burrs and Deputy Mayor Brennan. So you'll have to push your button.
Okay, so two items, 7.1 and 7.10, simple questions. In the first instance in 7.1, I think I heard our CAO sits on a committee on that, but what input do we give to the IESO for electricity planning?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through the mayor to the chair, the ISO reaches out to municipalities, and there are studies that are taking place that are done by region. And so municipal staff have participated in working group sessions in terms of looking at transmission needs and capacity demand. And so we provide our input, and what we do that by providing general ideas in terms of how the municipality is growing, so that when we want to look at their growth strategies, that is conveyed to IESO in terms of helping them plan for the future.
Okay, so I'm just going to move down to 7.103, you, Madam Mayor, to Rob. This tender award, I was reading inside it, and it said what the split was of the cost. Is the developer portion a solid formula, or is that subject to negotiation? Like, I read it, it looked kind of iffy, but is there a set formula where you say this is what you owe, and then there's no discussion on it?
Through the mayor to Councillor Burrs, yes, we have had the discussions with the developer, and we're just in the process of putting the cost sharing agreement together, but we have a confirmation from them of that 965,000 figure as a firm number.
Thank you.
And Councillor Brennan, or Deputy Mayor Brennan, pardon me.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you to the fire chief. This cut saw that that has malfunctioned. Is there any warranty from the manufacturer on this, or because it sounds like it's a real problem? It may not just be our tools that are doing this. So I didn't know if there was any action by them to help cover some of the cost to replace them.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Deputy Mayor, through you, Mayor. The warranties are up on them, and we did look into that. The only offer they're posing to us right now is that the 2-for-1 cut saw offer is there. We did inquire about exchanging, one each for each, but that's not the offer they're putting forward. We do know that another local fire department is having similar issues, but we also know another department that is not having that issue. So it seems like it's hit or miss with these saws. Yeah.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to say that I'm glad to see that we have some action coming on the proposed changes to the Municipal Code of Conduct and Integrity Commissioner framework. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, in that case, the motion before us is the consent items 7.1 through 7.10 listed on the May 21st, 2025 agenda be adopted as recommended. Councillor Coles and Councillor Cates, thank you. I'll call the vote. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, now we can move on to staff reports. And the first item that we're looking at is the annual report on development charges. And Tiffany Farrell, who is our Director of Corporate Services, in attendance to provide the overview report of, for that topic. So when you're ready, Tiffany.
Thank you, and through you, Mayor DeVete. So in front of you is our annual report on development charges. This is something that the treasurer must present to council each year. The information contained in this report is legislatively required to be reported, with the exception of the one attachment included related to the development charge exemptions. Attachment 7 is not a requirement of the Act. However, it is important information that the municipality would like to share, so it is included. For at the end of 2024, similar to the end of 2023, the development charge reserve funds are still in a negative position. And in order to fund this, the municipality is borrowing the funding from its general bank account to fund the deficit. And this is borrowed as an internal borrowing at the correct interest rate that needs to be charged per the Development Charge Act. So although we are still in a negative position, the municipality is is trending in the right direction at this point, and I am hopeful that in 2025, we are anticipating a positive development charge reserve fund balance at the end of the year. However, as you will notice in the development charge attachments, specifically attachment number 3, the allocations, this is required for the Act that at least 60% of the balance of the reserve funds be allocated. It is only required for 3 reserve funds, the water, the wastewater, and services related to a highway. For the municipality, we have reported for all of the capital requirements. So we have included the protection related to fire services and parks and recreation. You will notice that there are some significant capital projects that will be coming up in the next 10 years, and that 60% balance has definitely been allocated for the 3 funds that are mentioned, the water, wastewater, and services related to highway. They are in a negative position. However, we have allocated the funds, even though they are sitting in a negative position. This information does come from our development charge study, as well as is included in our capital budgets that is presented to council and included in the budget booklet available on our website. Overall, the development charge statement is a significant undertaking, especially with all the information that is there. I believe it is a step in the right direction for accountability and transparency for the public. And at this time, I'll ask if any members of council have any questions that they would like me to elaborate on.
Okay, thank you. Council, is there anyone? Deputy Mayor Brennan?
To you, to Tiffany. Tiffany, like the biggest deficits we have are in wastewater and water services. And these are user-paced systems, but the DC deficits are coming from, the cost of putting infrastructure in place compared to what we get out of a house. And that, how do we get those out of arrears, say, because, that's not going to change. The amount of money we have to put into the infrastructure and the amount we get out of a house when it's built, it's even going to be less probably in some instances. How do we manage that going forward?
Yeah, so through you, Mayor DeVete, that is a great question. So our water and wastewater, specifically the wastewater portion of our development charge, is the highest out of all the different sections that we are charging. The intent of the development charge study and the methodology in order to calculate what that development charge is does take all of this into account. It looks at the capital projects that need to be done over that 10-year period, and it determines what that the value of the development charge should be. It takes into account our growth studies as included in our official plan, and the way the study works is that it should be fully funded by the time that the end of the 10 years when the study is over. The issue that we have is that our growth is a little bit slower right now than it was projected in our official plan. And the municipality, especially as we are a growing municipality, we are putting the infrastructure in the ground quicker than we're getting the money back from the developers. So it is a challenge faced by more than just our municipality. Many smaller municipalities face this, and I imagine a lot of the larger ones did back in the day when they started with their building. So the municipality will be looking at debt borrowing in order to fund the cash flow situation within especially water and wastewater. So through the monitoring of these reserve funds, I am anticipating that starting in the next couple of years, we will be doing some large debt borrowing in order to fund the development charge side of these projects, as well as the benefit to existing, which would be the portion of these projects that are paid for by the water and wastewater users. So that is through like their water and wastewater rates. And more information will come at our next council meeting when we look at our long-range financial plans for water and wastewater, as well as the others. But specifically water and wastewater is where we're looking at dedicating those debt resources to. But I am hopeful that that strategy in place will help the municipality get that infrastructure in the ground in order to meet the requirements of the province and building homes faster and doing our part to be providing homes for people.
Just to follow up, Tiffany, now the change in the development charges that is being proposed, like we get sold some upfront, but then the balance of it doesn't have to be paid till later, like after the construction's finished or that. How much of an impact will that have too? Because we're not gonna be getting that money all up front. So if we're borrowing money, that means you're gonna be paying interest longer. So that's gonna hurt even more, is it not?
Yes, so through Mayor DeVite, Michael, our CAO, will be doing a report on that on the June 4th meeting related to Bill 17. That's going to be coming forward. So one of the things that they have proposed, but there isn't too many details on, is looking at deferring the payment of development charges from building permit stage, when you pay for your building permit, to when you get occupancy. And so this will have a significant impact for a municipality such as ourselves for a cash flow issue. So delaying that cash flow for the municipality and restricting us from charging interest means that we'll just be holding on to that debt even longer. So it will have an impact on us as well as many other municipalities. I know our municipality is putting out information out to council. There are other organizations that we're staff here are involved with that will be providing information to the ministry, including Watson's and Associates, which do our development charge study, will be putting something out to the ministry on that as well to show what that hardship could be for municipalities.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Yes, I have a follow-on question through you, Madam Mayor, to Tiffany. So currently we get development charges paid at the time of the building permit issued. They can't proceed or get it without that. So the province is pushing this down to the occupancy permit. Is that what it is? So that's normally what, 4 or 5 months to build a house? I don't know. So that's going to be the delay then in collecting.
Yep. Yeah. So through you, Mayor DeVite, they are looking at that as an option for occupancy. Right now, it is occupancy for, I believe, institutional developments as well as rental developments. Yeah, rental properties. And so they don't have to pay till occupancy. And then there are some that have the option to pay it over 6 years rather than just at the time of occupancy as well. So the municipality has plans in place to manage that. At this time, though, we haven't had any developer choose that option. So we have been fortunate enough to
All right.
have either paid a building permit or paid at occupancy, but those paid at occupancy does include interest.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, seeing none. The motion before us is that report CPS 23/2025 regarding the 2024 annual report on development charges be received, and that the treasurer provides a financial statement relating to the development charge bylaws and associated reserve funds in accordance with the Development Charges Act 1997. And further, that the treasurer be directed to make the 2024 annual report on development charges available to the public on the municipal website to fulfill the council's obligation under the Development Charges Act 1997. If I could have a mover, please, and a seconder, Councillor Arts and Councillor Shipley. I'll call the vote. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Item 8.2, again, Tiffany Farrell, Director of Corporate Services, is going to provide an overview report on the sale of municipal property 13211 Ilderton Road.
Thank you. So through you, Mayor DeVite, in front of you is a report with respect to the sale of the property. In spring of 2024, the municipality acquired the former CIBC building in Ilderton, the address of 13211 Ilderton Road. There were some improvements made to the building, and the municipality internally reviewed the property and looked at it with respect to the services being offered at the municipality. And at that time, it was determined that it was not needed for the municipal use, and therefore a request for proposal was posted online and to do a sale of the building. There was plenty of time where the municipality had issued the RFP, and there was a on-site meeting that was held as well, so that those interested in the property could take a look. And overall, a committee was put together at the municipality that included 3 members of council and 2 members of our staff, part of our management group. And it was led, that review aspect was led by our manager of strategic communications. The submissions were reviewed based on several criteria, and that included the purchase price, the deposit amount, the nature of the proposed business and its contribution to the Ilderton Main Street, and anticipated employment and staffing levels. So the municipality wanted to look at this property as something that it could improve aspects of the Ilderton downtown, as the municipality is very committed to assisting with any of the downtown areas within our municipality. And in the end, we did have one winner, or one person that came out on top business. The London Middlesex Sports Corporation, also known as Elite Performance and Injury Clinic, And they were the winning submission. The purchase price was $749,000 in addition to covering all the closing costs for the municipality. This is more than actually what has been put into the building, including the cost, as well as any of the improvements made, which are approximately $540,000 to date. The difference between this will be allocated into our Build Middlesex Center Reserve Fund, which goes back to the community with any kind of economic development aspects in a way to improve Middlesex Center. At this time, I'll open it to any questions from council.
Thank you for that report. Council, questions, comments? Councillor Cole?
Just a comment that I wanted to say about Epic Physiotherapy. So it is a valued and welcome addition to our Main Street. Their presence not only brings convenient access to high quality care for residents, but also supports the overall health and wellness for our growing community, and we're happy to have them there. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? No. Okay. In that case, there is a motion before us that report number CPS 24/2025 regarding the sale of municipal property on Ilderton Road as described be received, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute an agreement of purchase and sale with the London Middlesex Sports Corporation, Elite Performance and Injury Clinic, for the property located at 13211 Ilderton Road. And further, that the proceeds in the amount of $749,000 from the sale be transferred to the the Build Middlesex Center Reserve Fund. Mover, please. Councillor Cole, seconded by Deputy Mayor Brennan. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, and next we have the single axle plow truck repair. Andrew Geeson is in attendance to provide an overview of the staff report. When you're ready, Andrew.
Through the chair, good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to present to you today regarding the single axle plow truck repair. Excuse me. Staff are seeking council's approval to proceed with repairing the single axle plow truck, with a remanufactured engine. In February of this year, Unit 3207, a single axle plow truck, was exhibiting issues with operating and running properly. The fleet maintenance team diagnosed and repaired a number of deficiencies that were found to be damaged. However, the truck was still not running properly after the repairs were completed. The truck was subsequently sent to a carrier for further diagnosis, where it was determined that there were significant engine damages. Staff discussed a number of repair options with carrier and developed a number of options for consideration. Option 1 is to overhaul the existing engine and repair only the parts that are damaged. This option comes with a 1-year warranty only on the replacement parts. Option number 2 is to replace the existing engine with a remanufactured engine. This option comes with a 3-year warranty on the entirety of the engine. Option number 3 was to replace the truck with a new truck. This would require a budget amendment in the amount of approximately $325,000, with the truck being about 18 months away from delivery. Option number 4 was to dispose of the truck and not replace it. However, this option would negatively impact the level of winter maintenance service that residents currently are accustomed to. So staff are recommending proceeding with option number 2, so replacing the existing engine with a remanufactured engine at an estimated cost of just over $60,000. This option, as mentioned, would include a 3-year warranty. We believe, given the mileage and condition of the truck, it would be that replacement for this unit would be pushed out to 2028 or 2029, or possibly even longer, thereby extending the useful life of the truck. Should council support the staff recommendations, staff will use the existing council-approved fleet operating budget to cover the cost of the repairs. However, given the significant nature of the cost, there is a chance that there might be a budget overage at the end of the year, in which case the fleet reserve fund might be used to cover that cost overage if there is one. I will pause at this time and ask if there are any questions.
Thank you. I'll look to council. I just had one quick question. The $8,500, that's due and paid, not part of any of the numbers that are suggested for the options that are presented before us.
That, through the chair, that cost has been paid, but we wanted to provide a fulsome overview of the total cost to date. So that 60,000 as recommended in there would include that $8,000 as well.
Thank you very much. Okay, if there are no other questions, then, oh, sorry, one has, okay, go ahead, Councillor.
Yeah, through the mayor to Andrew. So the 1 year warranty, they were just replacing that one cylinder in the head. They weren't doing a complete in-frame on that truck motor then, or was that a complete in-frame on the motor?
Through the chair, my understanding is would be, yes, replacing the head, the cylinder, and then other associated parts as well. The cost estimate for that was $48,000. So yes, there would be some other components replaced as part of that as well.
Yeah, I'm good with that, as long as we're sure that truck will get another 3 years out of it, because I hate to put, another extra 12,000 into it the next year. If mechanically, you can't really predict a problem, but I guess body-wise and stuff like that, if we can get another 3 years out of it, opposed to doing an in-frame and getting 1 year, I'm good with that. Yeah.
Through the chair, given the mileage and use of that truck, we fully expect to get it at least another 3 years and ideally more.
All right, I think everyone's asked what they need. The motion before us is that report PWE 26/2025 regarding a single axle plow truck repair be received, and that council directs staff to proceed with option 2 as outlined in report PWE 26/2025 to overhaul and repair the existing engine at an estimated cost of $60,004.59, including the municipal portion of HST. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Burrs, Councillor Cates, thank you. I'll call the vote. All in favor? That is carried. Now, we don't have any notices of motion this evening, so we can move to correspondence. We have 7 items there. Is there anything that councillors would like to pull from there or comment on? I don't see any hands. The motion before us is that correspondence items 10.1 through 10.7 be received as information. Councillor Cates, Councillor Coles, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. We don't have a council update this week, do we?
Yep.
Yeah, we do. You're fine. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Mayor Brennan to update the most recent council meeting news.
Okay, county council met on May the 13th. It was brought to the council's attention that we have 4 official plan appeals going on at the county level at this time. So those are ongoing. We had a report on the strategic planning session and that we've had that's taking the plan from 2025 to 2030. And it's rooted in community growing towards tomorrow. And that's the basis that the strategic plan is focusing on. The county is looking at establishing a housing advocate role at $160,000 a year. They're looking at seeking funding from Canada Mortgage and Housing Corp and the Province of Ontario Foundations. And some money will come from the tax stabilization fund. This motion was deferred until more info was received from the lower tiers. Speed limit bylaws were reviewed. County Road 22, which is up here at Poplar Hill, they're reducing the speed limit back to 70 from 90 to the east down to the bridge to try to slow traffic down. And there's a couple other ones throughout the county, but that's the only one in our municipality that they're reducing at this time. Thames Center request for a crosswalk in Dorchester. There's a modified school crossing that was passed for that, not a full crosswalk. The Chief Administrative Officer recruitment update process was brought to the County Council. Waterhouse Executive Search is in charge of it and it's ongoing. There's some surveys that councilors have to fill out and there's going to be 2 full days where all of County Council will be doing interviews, 2 8-hour days when we will be doing interviews, 1 in June and 1 in early July. So it's probably going to take a while before we have someone in place. Middlesex County Loan Program, Southwest Middlesex requested a loan for servicing of the industrial park for wastewater and that to the tune of $685,500, which is 50% of the township amount of the project. And there's a 15-year length of time to repay that loan, and it is interest-free when you contact through that. The new county building, total cost of that building came in at $14,782,000. And that was passed, and shovels should be going in the ground before long. And we're probably looking at at least an 18-month build time, which will put us into November, December of next year. So it's going to be a while. That's it, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy. Any comments, questions? Okay, seeing none, then we can move on to other business. Is there anything else that council members want to bring forward? I'll start with Councillor Arts and then I'll go to.
After conferring with Councillor Shipley, we wanted clarification on item 8.3 with the truck. The overhaul 60,000, whatever, and then the cost to date, the 85 is on top, right? Because, okay.
Through the chair, that is correct, yeah.
My concern is the motion. The motion is that option 2, however, it says to overhaul and repair the existing engine. That's a new engine we're putting in, not an overhaul and repairing the existing engine.
Through the chair, that is correct. That is a typo. Would be a replacement engine for that price, not an overhaul.
So do we need to do the motion again on that, or? In housekeeping? Okay, thank you.
So for the benefit of the public, the motion, it can be handled in housekeeping as opposed to calling another vote. Okay? Is that everything? Okay. All right, sorry, go ahead, Deputy Mayor Brennan.
Just under other business, we had the open house last night. And I would just like to thank our CAO and all the staff for the work they put in designing this building, getting everything done and everything they had to put up with to get us to this state. This was a job very well done by our staff and CAO. And I think everybody's appreciative, not only staff, but the people I talked to last night were quite impressed with it all. So I just want to say a big thank you and shout out to those people.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor and members of council for coming last evening. I will say that our Director of Community Services put a lot of work into project managing this this overhaul of our new home here. And so kudos to Scott for leading the project and to all the staff that were part of it. And very proud to see everyone come together last night. It's something that we can certainly be proud of to see us as a legacy here.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Deputy. And I agree. All staff helped with yesterday too. There was a lot of work going on. It's all new and members of the public certainly appreciated it. So, okay, we do have to go into closed session now. And the motion that's before us is that Council of the Municipality of Middlesex Centre adjourn to closed session at 6:03 p.m. pursuant to Section 239(2) of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended to discuss the following matters. One item pursuant to Section 239(2)E regarding litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, and Section 2F regarding advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. This is with respect to OPA 59 OLT appeal. So we'll just wait till we turn off the systems and then we can proceed. Thank you, Councillor Coles, Councillor Shipley. All in favor of that?